Welcome back, my beautiful humans, to another episode of If I Die Tomorrow. Trying something new, a little outdoorsy. There's something peaceful about being outside, twilight. When we're all starting to just go to bed or wind down, and you hear a whole new life. Some of them still just getting up. So, I don't know. I thought maybe it was a little fitting for the subject today. Because, we talk a lot on this show about how to treat others with kindness, how to extend grace to them, and be mindful of maybe the situations that they're going through or their life that they're dealing with right now. We don't know about any of the inner rooms that they have to walk through. But today, I actually want to talk about turning the lens on ourselves. There's so many of us that struggle with things that no one else sees. And we carry it with silence. And one of the things that we carry with silence is the person we used to be. I mean, we all grow and evolve and change, but along the way, there were things that we'd done or said. And if we are honest with ourselves and the versions of ourselves from 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, maybe there are parts of it that we weren't particularly proud of. Maybe it was a version of yourself that was very reactive or fearful, defensive. Maybe you handled a relationship poorly or a breakup. Maybe you made really crappy financial decisions. And all of these choices led us to where we are today. Sometimes maybe we stayed in a place too long because we didn't know how to not be there anymore or where to find the courage from. And there are times, if we're all honest with ourselves, that we lie awake at night and we replay these choices that we made. And we remember those moments. And we punish ourselves for them. I know I do. We hold our past hostage. And we find it so easy to blame ourselves for everything and anything that went wrong. And yes, we all need to take ownership of our choices and our decisions, but we also need to have that grace. And we need to make peace with our younger, messier version. Because we were just trying to survive in a world that has no rule book. The friction here is a trick of the mind. We look back at our past actions using the wisdom, stability, and insights that we possess today. Yeah, real easy for us to be judgy now, huh? We say, how could I have been so blind? Why did I do those things? Why did I say those things? Why did I go there? Oh, and for some of us, it was, I wore that and my hair would look like that. And no one said anything to me? Thanks. But the simple truth that we forget is that you can't have your past self have your present awareness and knowledge and wisdom. That's why they say hindsight's 2020. When we made those choices, we were operating with the tools that we had at the time. Maybe your tools were just survival instinct, or fear of abandonment, or a total lack of emotional guardrails. I want to tell you, though, you were doing the best you could with what you had. You were building a foundation, and you weren't always placing it on the right footing. And it's not fair for you to look back at your past version and scold yourself with this judgmental accountability, because it really is cruelty. True maturity isn't about erasing your history or pretend you've always had it all together and were grounded. It's about looking back at your younger self with empathy, compassion, and love that you are so willing to give others. It's recognizing that there was confusion and so many unknowns and the lack of knowledge. So stop punishing them today. I can say that there's a quiet pandemic that I notice in everyday life. It's the professionals who feel like frauds because of a mistake they made earlier in their career, or the parent that carries immense guilt on how they reacted with their children on a day that had gone off the rails and life was really overwhelming. I see it in people who cannot accept love today because they're convinced that their past makes them unlovable, unforgivable, and unredeemable. You are not damaged goods. You never were. Shame tells us that our mistakes are our identities. It makes us shrink because we feel we have to hide who we used to be with the mistakes that we made. And it convinces us that if people knew our history, our whole history, that the relationship we had with them would immediately evaporate. But when we hide our past flaws, we also stunt our own growth. The fact that you feel uncomfortable looking back at who you used to be is actually the proof that you're healing and growing. It's part of your evidence of evolution. Here's a perspective that maybe will sit with you this week. We do not honor our growth by hating the person we once were. We honor it by offering grace to the version of us that had to break so we could be who we are in this very moment. You don't need to build a wall between who you were and who you are. Instead, let your present life be a bridge of mercy. We could all use some mercy. back to the younger version of yourself that didn't know what you know now. Please let them off the hook. As I end today with my almost crying again, because I really want you to stop beating yourself up for things that you did. I mean, if you made a mistake, absolutely own it and do better, because now you know better. I would like you to take a very slow, deep breath. Think about a specific memory that bothers you in an era of your life that still brings some kind of regret or embarrassment. And I want you to look or imagine looking at the younger version of yourself. Look at the fear. Look at the uncertainty. Look at the confusion. And tell them out loud, I forgive you. You were doing the best you could. And I've got it from here. You know, this episode didn't almost happen tonight. And I'm so glad that it did, though. I'm going to ask that you drop the charges against yourself. You've punished yourself enough. It's time for you and a choice for you to make in just learning to be human and giving yourself the grace and room that it deserves. And as always, be kind, be grateful, stay humble.